Alrighty, so I tried to do another batch of these guys and didn't make it all the way through, and they did a lot of scorching around the front side. Turns out, if the focal length set screw is maybe just a little loose, like I don't know why it would do it. I thought I tightened it pretty well, but it changed the focal length in the middle of it. You can see early on it was pretty focused. And then later on, it was decidedly not focused. So it was pretty aggressively bad when it got towards the end. And it did a lot of wide scorches, but wide scorches without a lot of deep cut. So it blends like charcoal now because it burnt it. But that's all right. I mean, I've got the set that I produced before. I don't have a finished large tray yet either. I have to redo that. But struggling with a little bit of the design aspect of that software that just fights me. I need to learn it better is what I need to do. But I imagine I can just take this. I've got a scroll saw. I could probably just pop this sucker in there and cut. Well, you don't really put it in, but I can cut the pieces out with that. So it's not a total loss on these. I can still use this. I can use it for a set that I would use as a demo at home, do a full paint job on it and seal it. Got the acrylic paints that I water down, like a 3-to-1 to a 4-to-1 water to acrylic paint ratio, and it becomes more of a stain at that point. And so you rub that on, let it dry, then you hit it with a clear poly or a clear lacquer spray, clear lacquer, and that should waterproof it enough. I got to glue the fronts to the backs. So this would be one of the backs, and this is the front. So you glue this to this and leave these pieces free. But these 5 pieces get glued. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these 1, 2, 3, 4 are left out while you're gluing those together. And you give them the stain wash, let them dry, and then a clear coat of poly. And then these you whitewash the stars and let them dry, and then give those a clear coat of poly, front and back. And the sides if you have to, but you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to get some of that with the first spray. And then once they've all dried, they should fit together. I will probably go in and sand down to get a little looseness in how they fit together to allow for the depth of the pieces. But I mean, they're done. I've got the coasters done. Tray, not really. But the tray is really just the thing I'm struggling with the tray is if I do a tray about this size, big enough to take all 4 of those, you're going to cut out a large star out of one of like the top layer like this. And then the bottom layer is going to be a piece like this, where it's just a empty one to make the tray part of it. But if I cut out the star like this part, I have a whole nother set of these pieces that I could play with. If I cut it out as just one giant star, that gets it done faster, but then it's just a giant wooden star, and it's not using those pieces to the fullest potential. So getting Inkscape to let me take these individual pieces in this size and adjust them so that they're all built into the larger star in Inkscape, turns out it wants to fight me on that. Because as much as these are relatively uniform all in size, taking this piece and flipping it over to match up with this angle, and then go up here, while a piece like this one fits on top of it and meshes with the pieces, there's some angles that need to be tweaked. And it's because when you can take the pieces off of a board like this, if they line up just a little off of, right angles, it works. But getting Inkscape to let me do that, not so much. Wants to fight. It really wants to fight me on that. Yeah. I'm sure it can be done. I just don't know how to do it myself. And I'm pretty sure I've got all the shapes and sizes accurately put together, because when I cut these out and I play with them, like I've got 2 sets now that are fully cut out right. They fit and work fine. So I mean, they're the right shape, and I can take this part and exchange it for that part, and I can take that part and swap them. And I can take these, all 3 of those pieces, and swap them, and they work pretty well together. And the only odd ones out are really sort of like these guys, and this guy only belong to those 2 pieces. But I mean, they would still fit in any one of these coasters. So they all fit. They're all the right shape and size, and they all function. And like this star can fit in that coaster, and this star can fit in that coaster, all the way around. They all work. But getting them to cooperate with me to make the giant star in Inkscape with these pieces, I'm not sure I've got the layering figured out right, and I can't get the eraser not to just make ugly blotches all over my piece. And that doesn't translate over to the laser cutter. So I may just make the 4 coasters, paint them up with red, white, and blue, and then glue them all together, polycoat them, and include an instruction sheet on how these fit together and how they all become the large star, and then not have the tray for the first sets I list up. I think that probably just makes the most sense, because it's going to fight me that hard. I will look into making the tray available separately, and potentially later doing a set with the tray. Now I know I could do the tray in an afternoon, but I've got other projects I'm working on right now too, and I'm not gonna spend whole afternoon doing one thing when I could probably finish off 2 other projects. So I think that's what I'll do. Wow, it's only been 10 minutes. Not a lot of progress to report, I guess, tonight. Other than my headache being back. So I may have to go check out with a doctor to make sure I don't have something seriously wrong with me right now. I don't usually get headaches, but I've had one that's lasted me a whole bloody week. I think I'm probably going to upload a health and well-being video tonight and not a video game. Just because I can't salvage from my other laptop that's broken the data for the video game file. So I have to remake one for later in the week, the end of the week. And so I'll do a health and well-being tonight. Video game tomorrow. I really charred that. It was like charcoal. And I should have an update about board game product and the regular edited update stuff for tomorrow night. And then take a couple days to figure some things out, and then start the next week on the 3rd. I guess that's sort of it for tonight. It's really a shorter update than I thought it would be. I got started later than I thought it would too. I got chit-chatting with somebody at the Makerspace about solving a few needs at the space. Thinking it would be fun to have a audio video recording station where YouTubers and podcasters can come and use the space and collaborate and record in a decent area. And this is sort of the room I'm thinking of doing it in, because we've got soundproof panels. The light's all right in here. I think actually to a certain degree, this looks better than it usually does at the place I'm staying. The lighting there kind of sucks. This looks a little bit better. A little washed out, but a little bit better. And I think the only problem here is I could put up some can lights instead of what's used in here, because these are slightly flickering lights. And I don't know if you're getting it in your audio, but I am definitely hearing it. There is a buzz noise to them. So if that's coming across on the microphone, kind of needs to be resolved. But if those are the only things we have to worry about, well, it's not the only thing we have to worry about. They've made this the kitchen, and we've got exposed wires there, telecom wire stuff. And this is the kitchen with the fridge, and there's a microwave over on the other side. I'm not gonna swing it all the way around, but yeah, it's not perhaps the ideal place for a kitchenette. I mean, this room is designed for audio control. And it has no random outside light, no outside walls. So the street traffic doesn't get into this space. We have a big door right there, a wide open doorway. It's not actually a door, but a sound blanket across that would solve that. You could move the kitchenette out of here and do can lighting with softbox filters or reflectors. I could build a green screen that we could put up if we needed green screen capabilities. Like, we could do a lot with this room. But, you know, the suggestion has been made. Nobody said no, but nobody said yes. So how far can I push that? How far do I have the right to push that? Anyway, so yeah, I was talking with somebody about maybe making arrangements to do some audio video stuff here. I think that would be awesome to be able to expand the capabilities of video creators in the area to network with each other and get a dedicated video or audio recording space that's accessible to them if they wanted to do it on like a regular weekly meeting or a monthly meeting, or join as a member to the space and have access to it 24 hours a day. I think that would be greatly valuable. And I want to meet other creators and work with them. I am so tired. Headaches do really wear you out, don't they? All right, so what I'm going to try to do is do the paint job tonight on the coasters, staining, and I will glue them together. And then tomorrow I will give them the spray lacquer they deserve. I'll probably have to do some sanding tonight too to clean up some of the edges and give them a little more wiggle room. And I should have a finished product for you tomorrow. I don't have a printer to print off some of the board game stuff. I don't have a printer at home, and I don't have a printer at the makerspace. Like, everybody here is all about the digital files. No dead trees here. That's great, but like, if you need to do a printed out version of something, it's stupid to have to drive 30 minutes out to find a Staples that'll print one out for you. I think maybe there's like a printer I could go to out on Main Street here. But I mean, I shouldn't have to go out, find a printer, get them to do a one version print of 5 different files for, I think it's 20 cents a piece. Like, I shouldn't have to do that. Like, I should be able to take my stack of computer paper, put it in a printer or a photocopier or whatever we've got, send the file from my laptop, have it print out the pieces for the game. Should be that easy. It really should be just that easy. I'm always surprised. Like, access to a space like this offers you great things like a lathe, a laser cutter, 3D printers. That's cool. You do not have rubber bands. You do not have paper clips. You do not have pens or pencils. You do not have papers or printers. Like, how are we doing anything that's not like machining or woodworking? There are other ways to create things. Like, paper is one of the most versatile crafting materials out there. You can do a lot with it. A lot of prototyping, a lot of testing, a lot of experimenting. You can do a lot with paper. To have none in a space and have no way of marking it with anything or holding it together. We don't have a stapler. I should probably just go get a bunch of that stuff and leave it here. It's such a weird way to not be able to do anything. All right, well, I'm going to go try to finish some of this stuff up for the evening. The days have really run away from me these last couple days. Is it almost? It's almost Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know what happened to my life. Where did it all go? All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Happy creating.